We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to another episode of the Parents' Lounge. Mulligan wasn't there for the beginning, and so she got the axe. And tonight we're going to talk about every election happening. No, we're not going to talk about any of that crap. So if you want a little respite from the election cycle, oh hi, Kate Mulligan. Then join us here tonight. This is supposed to be an oasis for parents who are having a hard week, like Jason Gowan, who his wife, and all 3 kids had RSV all weekend.
That was a lot of fun.
So we're not talking elections. We're not talking crap. We're going to talk parenting, and we're just
going to talk basic survival.
Yeah. Somebody sent me a shirt. I don't even know if somebody sent me this. Please tell me. I don't know where I got it from, but my wife laughed very hard. So, what's up, Joe Bo?
Oh yeah, hit the like button on YouTube.
Somebody hit the like button, and we got a lot to talk about tonight. I'm Jamie Kaler, joined as always by Jason Gowan and Kate Mulligan.
Oh, hello.
Hey guys, how was the week in parenting? This week in parenting.
This week in parenting. Well, this is what I'll tell you. My husband, after
hey, Daniel.
Mark's
here, Shug's here.
My mustache is here. Can we talk about that?
I mean, that's. I was gonna say my week was going great till I saw this mustache.
Doesn't it
feel like I'm gonna be inducted into a van?
Hey, I got some candy in the van, or I'm about to fight Doc Holliday. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen.
Is this a Tacoma situation?
No, it's something else I'm working on.
Okay.
Cop.
I have to say it's really good. I actually do not dislike it. Is what I'm going to say.
That's as close to a Kate Mulligan compliment as you get.
What I will say is like it actually suits your look, which means that maybe I've always been creeped out by you.
Right? It's like even as I look at it now, I'm like, oh, that works.
Works. It really works. And I don't. Yeah, it's that Velcro.
It is Velcro. Honestly, I think I might open an Instagram page just under my mustache, just for my mustache alone.
Dude, you should.
Please do that. I was
actually surprised. I was surprised, Kaler, when we were in Pennsylvania for the show. You were like, we flew out. You were like scruffy. Like the scruffiest. Then you shaved for the show. I was like, oh, look at you, little baby face. And then by the time we went to Niagara Falls, you were like full beard again.
Right before he fought what we originally thought was a child.
Yeah. No,
we haven't talked about what happened at Niagara Falls at all.
I told Carlos that story. Oh my God.
Do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, I do want to tell the story.
Have fun.
Thank you.
By the way, I don't know how you feel about the story. I'm very proud of it.
I gotta tell you, when I tell the story, I say it. I'm so conflicted because it's so. I don't know.
I will tell you, I completely supported it after I found out it was not what we thought it was.
So we're walking up a hill.
So first of all, tell everyone what he thought it was. But I also I have to turn the heat off in my house because my wife has put it on. It's like 100 degrees in this room. Okay. You start. I can hear you.
We'll start.
Right over there, the thermostat.
So
old man Kaler wandered away.
Yeah, Kaler just does his own thing, right? Kaler's just like, bye. I walk away now. He just was like on his own at Niagara Falls. At some point, we all stumbled back, but the rest of us are sort of like going up a hill behind him, and
you were in the gift shop and you paid and you walked out, and Trevor and I waited for you.
Yes, thank you. But Kaler cannot be bothered. He's on his own schedule. He's gonna do his walk when he needs to. He's got a hat on his head that's just like, it's like he doesn't wear a hat like properly. It's like sort of just always like kind of. It's just so
it's
he's
like
walking.
Somebody was playing ring toss and they just almost
and it just kind of stuck. Yes, that is exactly it.
But they were like, "Is that good?" And I go, "Yeah, that's close enough."
It's close enough. The point sticks. But we see him yelling at a little girl in a pink.
Well, we saw the pink poncho.
We saw a pink poncho, and we're also down a hill. So all I can see is that he's turning, and he's like, and you, sir, this is how it ended. You, sir, are a litter bug. That was the end of it. At which point we realized he was actually yelling at a full-grown man who had put out his cigarette not into a cigarette tray.
Just in the grass.
We're literally at Niagara Falls, one of the most beautiful places on earth. And this dude goes and then flicks it on the ground and doesn't even step on it, just leaves it there. And I let him know exactly how I felt about his behavior.
But from our angle going up the hill, all we saw was a pink poncho, and it looked like it was a small child you were screaming at. And all I heard was, "Are you a crazy person?"
If it was a small child and they put their cigarette out on the ground, I would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah. But the best was like your final word was, "You, sir, are a litter bug," which is the least compelling argument.
And if, I don't know if you remember after that,
that one did not cut deep, I don't think.
It continued on a little bit, and then I even said, "Come on, man, you're better than this."
He did, yeah. That's how it ended.
That's how it ended. I said, "Come on, you're better than this," and I walked away.
I remember,
which he is, which everybody is. You're looking at what is arguably one of the most beautiful natural sights on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
We are looking at Niagara Falls, and this dude, and then throws his cigarette on the ground. I go, that's the kind of world we live in, where I go,
for the
this
record,
is wrong. It's just wrong. I'm sorry.
When I told Dickie that story, he was like, "That guy's awesome." I will say, like, here's the problem. As somebody who has been mugged at gunpoint before, I don't like any sort of altercation with anybody in public because I'm just like, I don't know who's carrying what.
Right.
So I'm just like, if it's not worth it, don't do it. But that being said, like, of course I back you up on the content of the argument, but I'm also
20 years ago, I would have unleashed on him in a litany of swear words but the way I'm wording it nowadays is not so much to get my point across, but to get my point across without getting shot, because it's definitely in the back of my head when I'm talking to a complete stranger.
Because when I talked to you about them, I was like, "So you've never been mugged, huh?" And you're like, "No," but then you also said to me, you were like, "Yeah," you're like, "If that guy had been bigger, like that guy, I was bigger than that guy. If that guy had been bigger, he could have taken a shit." And I'd been like, "Great placement. You did great. You did great work there. You could have taken a shit."
I choose my battles.
Yeah,
but I also told you I've had a history with people who have been shot, and so I'm wary of that. But I was really, if you're anywhere on a city street, it kind of annoys me. Like people, that's one of my pet peeves. People putting first of all, in this day and age, why are you smoking?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. If you're getting high, like, yes, I get that. There's a reward at the end of the rainbow, but you just smoke cigarettes. I just saw a kid smoking. He must've been like 25 here the other day on Ventura Boulevard. I was like, I just don't get it. And then to do that, and then to litter with it, that drives me crazy. Man shot by small human in ping pong. That's honestly, that could have easily been a headline in the Buffalo News, the Buffalo Observer.
Kate and I spent like 20 minutes talking to a guy about all of the deaths at Niagara Falls, and he had like every like
he had a bunch of
detail.
stories. Yeah,
I think I said some weird shit to the guy too.
Yeah, you were like, yeah.
You were in a weird Zen place at Niagara Falls. You went to a place I'd never seen you go before. It was an interesting mix.
Yeah, they keep telling us about a woman who purposefully drove her car, and it was like, and then Jamie goes, "Good for her."
I think I said. They said he goes, they never got the car out, and I go, "What kind of car was it?" Do you remember that? And
yes, I also remember when you said
about the woman.
Did. When he told you how she went in, you went, "Yeah, that's how you do it. Take the car over."
I said, "How do you even get a car over the falls? I mean, you'd have to find an entry point, which has got to be pretty tricky." And he was like,
"Yeah." And then he pointed out exactly where it happened.
And he told me it was a Toyota. He said it was like a Toyota Corolla or something. And I go, "Oh, well, that makes total sense." Yeah.
And they let it go over the falls.
Yeah, it's like at the bottom.
Like you could stop it from going. I don't know if you know how falls work, but it's called falls for a reason.
But I mean, they had time to call in a helicopter, so the movement down the river.
And they also said the car was there for days. They said
you're going to pick up a car full of water, and apparently it's still at the bottom of the falls, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Just, I'm sure, broken to bits.
Just to bring it back to parenting. Here's what each and every one of us thought, because we didn't have our kids. We had done the show, and then we were going towards.
That's not true. You were FaceTiming your children the entire time at the falls.
I FaceTime my children, true, but they weren't there. And here's what we all agreed on was that. We were like, this was really cool to see this. And each of us said at the exact same moment of like, how would it have been if our kids were here? And we were like, it would have been horrible. Each one of our children would have been trying desperately to run into the water and go over the falls. And our whole time here would have been worried about, isn't it weird when you take your kid someplace beautiful and the only thought in your head is, that kid's going to try to get over the falls. I know.
Honestly, I had to do that with Trevor. I like 3 times he like made it very clear it was super easy to get in.
But it is, I have to say, it is shocking. You could just step over. It's harder to get into my front door than it is to get over the railing into the falls. It's wild.
Yeah.
And that was the horseshoe one we were by, the American side of the horseshoe, or wait, what one were we by?
We did both.
We did both, right? The one that was so easy to get to was the horseshoe one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was easiest.
I was like, what? You could just literally just, well, now I'm over.
Corolla in the falls. That's funny. That's funny.
Well, shall we?
Anybody like? Listen, we've talked about this before. About if you're ready to go, have fun, man. But as long as you do it creative, like when you take a Corolla and you go over the falls in Niagara Falls. I mean, everyone's going to be like,
she never went over the falls. She drowned before she got there.
She drowned before she got there.
She didn't. That's in the planning. You got to plan it better. I mean, bring a scuba tank. I don't know what you got to do, but get to the edge of the falls. That's rule 1. But when somebody does that, I mean, part of you's like, oh, that's so sadly brilliant. Like I only hope I go out in that kind of blaze of glory. To me, that I think it's everything. I think it's fantastic.
Next time you come back.
Not yet, but maybe many years from now. I've talked many times about a Viking funeral. I want a boat, and I want somebody to shoot a flaming arrow into the boat, and then it lights up, and everyone goes, "There goes Kaylor." Wouldn't that be great?
Dude, I want a House of Dragon, is what I want. I want the chorus. Just.
I think I'm going to do the volcano jump.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude.
Okay.
So it's so funny you say that because I just went. There's a new Hawaiian hot chicken. There's a hot chicken. It's Nashville hot chicken, but it's Hawaiian hot chicken because they put it on Hawaiian.
The sweet rolls,
or whatever it's called, or something. And so they have all the stages of heat, like nothing to cruel to unbelievable. And the last one is called Kilauea, which is the volcano, right? That's the volcano.
Yes.
In Hawaii. And for that one, you have to sign a waiver before you get Kilauea. And part of me was like, oh, that would be a good way to go too. Like what happened to Kaylor? And then he got Kilauea.
Remember I did that ice cream thing on the show that one time I had to sign the waiver to eat the ghost pepper ice cream.
That's right.
So that's a thing that happened at my kids' grade school. We got a notice that somebody had brought those TikTok challenge hot chips to school. And apparently kids have been hospitalized trying these chips. And like apparently like some lunch monitor saw it, but they're like, it's super dangerous. And I was like, I just will never, I'm not going to understand TikTok challenges. It's like the ice bucket challenge, but way dumber.
So that actually segues perfectly into
You're
one
welcome.
of my points tonight. Like, it's almost perfect. Did anyone watch 60 Minutes this week? There was a dude.
None of us have
85.
a 5 on the
Yeah.
front of
You're
our
not
age.
85?
Yeah.
No. But you know about, they have catheters that are less painful. Have you heard about those as well? Those are really super.
But I mean, that ruins your whole bit.
And maybe a reverse mortgage might be ready for both of you. But listen, here's the thing. They had a guy on there and he talked about social media. And it was obviously, how negative it's training people to be immensely negative. Negative gets more likes, more follows, or more retweets than the actual facts of things. And it's exponential. But he did say TikTok, which is a Chinese company in China, we've talked about this before, for kids, they don't see the same TikTok our kids see. Like China's deliberately
changing the algorithm.
They changed the algorithm. So in China, if you're under 14, the only thing that you can see are educational videos, technical videos, state videos, everything that educates
or job applications to make
job applications. And so it's very educational TikTok in China for 14-year-olds. That's the way the algorithm works. And here in the US, China is deliberately, it's idiocracy. They are deliberately funneling the stupidest, most insane, ridiculous challenges and videos to our kids to deliberately make them dumber and do stupid things.
I don't even know that it's even getting the kids so much as like the like young adults.
Well, I mean,
I gotta tell you, I do feel like the stupidity is homegrown though. It's not like I'm seeing a bunch of.
I think it's an easily cultivated mix there.
I don't know. I'm not seeing Chinese.
Wait, let's bring in our panelists because this is a good time to bring them in.
Yes.
You read my mind. Great way. Yeah.
Tonight, we haven't done this for a while. We used to do this a little back in the day. We would bring in some moms for the Council of Moms. Tonight, we have the always lovely Winifred Schrader.
Hey,
Winnie! Winifred!
Hi, how are you guys?
Well, look
at Winnie.
House on fire.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is because my kids did the one chip challenge too, and my house caught on
Dave
fire.
just used the bathroom.
Well, that too. No, I know exactly. I actually bought the bag of the chips, and then I realized because my daughter, she loves, like, she eats Takis, she eats ghost pepper stuff. Like it doesn't faze her. And when I went to the store, they had the big bag, and then they had the little one chip challenge. And the one chip challenge, one chip in a box, was $6.99, where the big bag was $4.99. Does that make sense?
Well, if you buy in bulk, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Well, I have to. We have so many dang kids. I need to buy everything in bulk.
Just for the people at home, run down how many children you people have.
Really quick, Winnie, though, before we get into that, the amount of children. I mean, it's a parenting show. We're trying to keep it clean, and you dropped a dang, and I know Mulligan is pretty easily offended.
I thought you were going to say she dropped a bag.
Let's keep the dangs
a bag.
Down. Let's not talk about any dangs right now.
Dangs. Yeah. Well, between Dave and I, we have 11 children. Luckily, yeah, we never know. There's still Ancestry.com and 23andMe still coming in. But I mean, the most of them are adults, we have 4 school-age kids in the home. I had to count on my fingers. That's horrible. But yeah, so like
really
during
quick,
COVID,
name all 11 very quickly. Go.
Okay.
From top to bottom, oldest to youngest.
Okay.
By the way,
Jen,
I feel like this is where we blow a whistle and she goes, Liesel, Friedrich, Henry. That's what I feel like that's this.
It's Sound of Music.
Yep.
I have Jen, then Cliff, then Kayla, then Nathan, then Linus, then Jack, then Pacey, then Charlie, then Ripley, Damien, and Max. Is that all of them?
That was 11.
Okay, I got them all.
Funny, Mulligan. I was gonna say it sounded like Good Will Hunting when he lies about the. He goes, "Yeah, I live with my brothers, Mickey, Ticky, Tommy, Stevie," and she goes,
Oh,
"Say it again," and he says it again: Mickey, Ticky, Tommy, Stevie, Johnny, Frankie.
I know.
Eddie."
It's just like trying to remember them all in order is kind of a chore, but I did it. But no, I was
You
just
really
saying it
did.
was funny. Funny is like during COVID, you know how people were buying all this stuff. And they're like, "Oh, I see you're stocking up for COVID." I said, "No, this is a regular grocery run
This is-
for
yeah.
me."
This is a
I
Tuesday.
mean, yeah, right. I mean, I can buy stuff and it literally I can spend $300 in groceries and it's all gone in 3 days. So
I mean, the toilet paper alone, you look like a hoarder. She's like,
Oh,
she's hoarding
yeah.
toilet paper. Like, no, this is a weekend in my house.
yeah, we buy
And it's
it
just
in
Dave. It's
boxes.
just Dave. This is just the toilet paper for Dave for 48 hours.
We allocate a box to each kid and Dave. But yeah.
It's funny. I
so-
was talking with my husband about this the other night, where I was saying, because he's and Jamie's one of 6, but Dickie
Mhm.
is one of 4, and they all 4 lived together at some point. So that's what you're going through now. And I said, like, the amount of like planning that goes into me just making dinner for 4 people total, and like you just like thaw a pound of ground beef, thaw a pound of I don't know how like you feed a family of 4, a family of 6 dinner. Like I don't know how that
Well, I
works.
mean, it's just light math, really, Mulligan.
I
You
know,
just
but like,
you have to double up on everything.
but it's more than double. I feel like depending
Well,
on the
with
age
11,
and the
yeah, it would be
gender and
double.
the like.
Well, the problem is half the time Dave and I feel like short order cooks because this kid doesn't like this kid doesn't like that. So
Well,
it's like we're making individual meals and it's like, oh gosh, but and it has been a struggle too with my regular job, just trying to, I don't get done till like 5:30 at night. Sometimes I'm working till 10 o'clock at night. So it's
Oh
like,
my God.
I guess it's another fast food night or
Yeah.
pizza or something simple.
Yeah.
But
How
at
many
least,
many pizzas do you guys have to order to feed you?
usually if all the kids are here, I usually get like 5 to 6 pizzas. And usually we'll have like one leftover, but that gets eaten the next day for lunch.
Of course.
Fair.
So, yeah. They do eat leftover pizza. I'll give them that. We never have pizza go to waste in our house because it's one of the favorites. That and we get a lot of Domino's pizza. So, little
Oh,
shameless
yeah.
plug. But no, just kidding. Yeah, because the kids like the Brookies. They're like, "Did you get a Brookie?" And I'm like, "Yes,
Well,
I
they always
got you
got
a
the
Brookie."
coupons too on that app.
Oh,
That
yeah.
app's very user friendly app.
Oh, it is. And then I save up my points, and then I'm so happy that I get a free pizza because I have to get a gluten-free one. So I'm like, yes, I get the gluten-free pizza free. And it's like literally the gluten-free pizza is only 10 inches where medium's 12. And the 10-inch pizza is twice as much as the regular pizza.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
I get an only gluten pizza, and usually it's free because they're just trying to get rid of it.
They're like, here, just
they're
take
like, we
all
have a
the gluten
bowl
you
full of
want.
gluten. Will someone eat this? And I go, I'll eat that. I'll eat it.
I
I'm
cannot
going to bring in
believe-
our next guest.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Yes.
Sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Julia York. Hello.
Hi.
Julia.
Hi. Can everyone hear me?
Oh
Yeah.
Very
yeah.
well, yeah.
Okay, because I have a Mac and I don't have Google Chrome. So I was quickly like, oh my gosh, like quickly trying to download it. And hopefully I'm not good with tech. And usually me and it don't get along.
I mean, so far, so good.
And you have a nice, beautiful fire behind you. The whole.
Oh, I know. I was
honestly,
creating an ambient background. Like,
You sound great, and the presentation's perfect. I think
Oh,
this is,
wonderful.
You're killing it.
thank you.
Also,
It's my first
Julia-
time.
Julia, who does everybody say your celebrity lookalike is? Because I know exactly who it is, and I'm just curious to know if you've heard it before.
I don't usually have one.
Oh, it's not Hope Davis.
I don't know. Wait, who's Hope Davis?
You.
Hope I would have said maybe a tad of Laura Linney with a little Amanda Seyfried in there.
Okay.
I mean, I've gotten Veronica Lake
Maybe a
couple
touch of Judy
times.
Greer.
Oh, a touch of
There's a touch of
Touch
Judy
Judy
Greer there
Greer.
for
Sprinkle of
sure.
Judy
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Greer.
can see Judy Greer.
Judy Greer.
But Hope Davis.
You
I'm
can't see
sorry.
any Laura. A very, very like spot on Hope Davis.
Thank you.
Spot on Hope Davis.
Oh my gosh, everybody's gonna be
I'm-
googling Hope
Yeah,
Davis now.
That's actually exactly what I'm doing right now.
Which, by the way, it is a positive. It's not a negative. I promise you. Hope
No,
Davis
she's
is
cute.
fine.
She's
She's a-
totally cute.
She's adorable.
But thank you.
Julie, how many kids do you have? Tell the people.
I have 2.
Yes.
Unless you count animals, then that's 4.
We don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, in
Yeah.
my house I do.
I mean, they're
Just-
like kids. They're Just
Can
as
I?
neat.
I have a dog. Can I send him to you? Matt. His name's Max. You'll love him. He's 18. He eats his own poop. He's fantastic. I'll send him. You're gonna.
Occasionally
he's
almost
on
gets
his
taken
way.
by an owl here and there.
He almost got taken by an owl. Almost.
He,
Almost.
yeah, you did not try hard enough. He not only eats his own poop, he eats others' poops.
He'll eat
Yeah.
any poop. He loves poop.
He'll eat human
Snickers
poop.
bar to him. Yeah, he loves
Our
poop and he likes to
oldest
pee under
dog-
our stove. So he's the best. He's a great dog.
when we were still changing diapers, which thankfully we are out of that phase because my youngest is now 4. Somehow our dog would manage to get into the
Diaper bin.
receptacle in which we kept all of the diapers, and we would find
Mhm.
them around that. It was really gross, and I contemplated just getting rid of it. No, he's
Get rid of
fine.
the
He's
do-
fine now.
Getting rid of the dog.
Yes, not the
Yeah.
child. Yeah.
No, I agree. And people give me grief all the time. Like I'll be outside with my dog and they'll be like something about my dog. I go, he's yours. Take him.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Community.
dude, I got 2 kids. He was. I used to play catch with him. He was my buddy. We were best friends. And then I had kids and he fell in. All of a sudden, it's like, you're the Yankees and he's lost a step and he fell down the depth chart. And I got to drop him to the minors. And it's not personal. It's just he's not on my A list anymore. And that's
Yeah.
the thing.
He's
He
not
did
Junior.
ask me to kill him when I was there.
I
He
didn't
took
ask you
me
to kill him.
aside.
I asked you to take him to a farm in upstate New York. What are you
Aw.
talking about?
No, he asked me. He took me aside.
Oh,
and
he
said,
said,
"Please,
kill me.
dog.
He said, kill
Please
me.
just kill me. Back over me with the car. Make it look like the kids did it. Whatever. just kill me."
Actually, I feel like that was me saying that to you about myself. So I'm not
I
sure.
mean, we do voices. It's fine.
Kill me, Jason. Please, for the love of God, just take me out.
Let's bring in our last guest. It's Katie Bem.
Yeah.
I drew my own fire. I feel left out.
Good. Good.
I
How
wish
long
you
did
guys
you
would have
do
let
the
me
green
in
room?
on it before that all happened.
Oh, we all have fire. Didn't even notice.
Yeah.
It's kind of the
defeated
fire's
the
kind of
evening.
devolving, but that's okay.
Katie,
Got a house
I
on
think
fire,
probably
fireplace, and
Katie. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say,
Oh,
Katie.
Dad.
I think probably I have the question that we're all wanting to ask, which is, why didn't you want to talk to us after the show? You
I
just
was
bolted.
thirsty. I was thirsty.
Oh yeah, we were going to a place where there was nothing to drink.
And
so.
she knew it too, so don't let her try that horse yet.
I had to pee really bad. And
They
I
have
was
bathrooms
Oh, they
there.
do have
I
bathrooms.
was sitting down towards the front. By the time I got back to where the bathrooms were, it would have been like a 6 mile long. So I just bolted out the side door.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm very sad I didn't meet you
Please
guys.
stop
in
making her
person.
feel bad. Listen, the question here is how does everybody feel right now, early November, with the state of the world, raising their children? How is everybody doing nowadays? Are you not listening to news? Are you staying in your bubble? Are you caught up in the world, or are you just trying to raise your kids? What's happening?
Katie Stark.
That's a great question because I feel like the world is just swirling, right? Which makes my kids swirl, and they've been more on edge and losing their shit like a lot more easily.
Now, how old are your kids, Katie? Really quick for everybody.
11, 9, 7, and 5.
It's actually just too many.
Okay, you have too many kids. Yeah.
I recently saw her oldest son twerking outside of their family restaurant.
Drumming up business.
Yeah.
He is. He's
It's like
great
it's
at
like the
that.
sign flippers, but he's just
yeah, I was gonna say, get him a sign.
Yes.
Like those
Put 'em
big
to work.
wavy things, but with like twerking.
My
You
favorite
give
part
that
was
kid-
that Luke, when he looked at his brother doing it, just looked at me and went, and then walked off disgusted.
Yes.
Was he sign spinning? Did he have the sign like, "Hey, come to our restaurant"?
He did. You should have him do that.
Should. You give him an open space and he will break out into his moves.
So
Is he
he's
the
doing
family
fine.
dancer? Because like you're dance background family.
Yeah. Yeah. He does dance. Yeah.
What do you think that your kids are picking up on that's making them sort of like lose their shit? Pardon my, I'm just repeating what you said.
Like a level of like unrest, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not they don't know what normal is, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like the grown-ups feel it and then they like pass it on to their children, like the chicken pox.
Yes.
Right.
I do think it's that. And my wife and I try to be like, I'll start to go like, ah, and my wife will be like, hey, and I go, oh, yeah, no, never mind. But it's got this weird, everything is crazy nowadays. And here's what's funny. I have kind of tried to pull myself back from it. My daughter, the 7-year-old, wanted a puzzle of horses, this crazy puzzle of horses, 550 tiny, intricate pieces, like a crazy puzzle. And I was like, okay, here we go. And so we open it up within 30 seconds. She's like, I can't do this. This is a nightmare. And so I go, we'll get the flat ones. Let's just get the flat ones. I build the frame. So I'm doing what the bottom line is here. I'm doing a puzzle, a 550 piece horse puzzle so all of a sudden, like we were working it together and I would get a bunch and I would really put it like half done now, like 5 days later. And I dropped the kids at school and then I came home and I did the puzzle for like an hour. I just myself. I did the puzzle. And then I was like, wait, am I really old or it was so cathartic.
Yes.
Because I was like this, I had this odd focus. And after I did that for an hour, I had this like relaxation about me where I was like, I need to do weird stuff like this more often. Like read. I have to pull myself off from scrolling because my brain starts spinning. Does everyone else feel that way?
100%.
Yeah.
There is something to be said about doing anything with your hands, creating anything with your hands. I do adult coloring sometimes. I knit. I do puzzles. I bought those. I'm sure you have it. Those stickers that you put gems on. It's like number 1 gem, and you like put it like I've like bought those in Animal Crossing and Sonic the Hedgehog, and like there's just something to be said about okay, I'm gonna make something with my hands, and it can be a puzzle, it can be the Harry Potter Diagon Alley set, it could be anything, but I think it's so important.
And it's like something mindless where you don't have to think about it, and you just are doing. Yeah.
To me, it's like when I started doing the puzzle, and it felt like I was a horse by Central Park, and they put the blinders on me. Yeah, I just was like this, and then I didn't see. All of a sudden, I kind of it really relaxed me. I was like, and my wife was like, she came home, she's like, "Are you doing the puzzle?" I go, "Yeah," because I thought if I built a little bit of it, then Claire would get involved, which she kind of has. And now, like this morning, I got up, and she had already gotten up a half hour before me, and she was working on the puzzle, and I was like, "Oh."
That's so sweet.
Now, I don't know if it's a good thing for her or not. I don't know. I don't know what
I think it is. I think it is, man. Especially, I mean, you're doing it together. She's not on a screen and like scrolling stupid dance videos. It's quality time. I think it's good. I think it's good fun, man.
It feels nice, but it feels so simple that in a weird way, I feel like this guilt of like all these things are streaming past my head all the time, and I've ignored them and been like, you know what? Because I haven't really posted on Instagram much lately. I kind of was like, why am I posting this? Why do I care if everybody sees that I'm at the park with I don't know. And I'm sure I'll end up posting more eventually, but I kind of had this realization of like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this?
It's weird because I'm actually been doing the same exact thing. I have like not really gone on social media to scroll. Like I'll post about Dave's show or whatnot and things like that, but like not for my own personal use or gain. Right. I just, I have barely looked at it, and you want to know what? I have felt less stressed. I have felt I depressed. I mean, it was just like, I don't know. I've noticed a huge difference in my my mood and everything else. So
Yeah.
I'm hopefully gonna try and get that taken care of with my youngest son because he has way too much screen time. And I think a lot of with kids right now, the YouTube is so detrimental to them because that's all they want to do. I mean, they sit there and watch videos of other people playing video games. I'm like, wouldn't you rather just play the video game? No, this is way better.
My kids are
Right.
on the
And
YouTube
that dude
ban.
posting that made $20 million last
Yeah.
year. That's
I
the hardest
know.
part. Part of me is like, I want to keep my kids off social media, but part of me also goes, what if they were the one who kind of really figured it out and monetized it? So it's this weird dichotomy
I
of like,
know.
do I protect them or do I help them reach their true potential? I don't know.
So for
I don't
my
know
kids,
either.
which are 7 and 4, I had to kind of ban YouTube from my house. Not so much because of them watching the video game stuff. I don't mind that. It was how their personalities and behaviors seemingly changed after watching it for so long. My oldest becomes way more aggressive than he should, and then the youngest wanting to be like his older brother kind of follows suit, and it's just a lot of my house turns into like a WWE ring outside of the ring. So YouTube is now not a thing in our house.
Was it any specific kind of content, Julie, or was it just being in YouTube itself kind of?
Just being in YouTube. So once my oldest figured out how to use YouTube, like, oh, I can click on this video and then it opens up the door to this video and this video and then this video. It started out him watching trains and thunder and lightning storms, and then he found video games, which is perfectly fine. I have nothing against video games or watching video games, but then it became a little obsessive, and then with that obsessiveness came, I noticed like an attitude change, and I'm like, okay, well, now you can only watch it for an hour, but of course it's never just an hour. You have multiple things happening in your home, and it's not an excuse. I'm still the parent at the end of the day, but it is the reasoning why sometimes it went on longer than it should have. But just that aggressive behavior change. And it happened just the other day. Like, I was showing them a music video that I thought that they would like, and they did. And they were like, well, can we watch this? So I gave in, okay, sure. And then it was this, and then it was this. And 30 minutes later, there's just like this aggressive tension in the air, and everybody's like, not so much everybody, but my oldest. So yeah, no more YouTube.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to have YouTube in our house anymore.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've noticed like they're just they don't have any patience. They just want to get back to their YouTube video.
Do you think it's some sort of weird subliminal YouTube?
I don't know, man, but I'm just
you're absolutely right. It's so weird to hear you say that, Julia, too, because even if I let my daughter like watch Bluey, like we've been really trying to stop like hours at the TV, right? So I would just be like, no. And she's like, I'm so bored. So I let her watch some TV. And it's amazing to me that, and I talked to her really openly about this, and I go, well, here's my problem. I don't let you watch TV. You're really sweet and you behave and you're really thoughtful and you do all these things. And then I relent and let you watch TV for a couple hours, and you're insensitive. You are rude. You don't do anything I ask you to do. And so what's my incentive to let you ever watch TV again?
Yeah.
It's when I used to bartend, I would bartend. And if I gave a guy a free beer, like most guys would throw me a bunch of money. They'd throw you like the cost of the beer.
Yeah.
And they were incentivized me to go, next free beer I get, I'm going to give it to you. And then I'd give a free beer to a guy, and he tips me every time I charge him. And then the one time I give him a free beer, he doesn't tip me anything. And I go, well, I'm never giving you a free beer again. Do you see how the logic of this whole thing works?
Yeah.
And I feel like that with my daughter, where I'm like, man, I just let you watch like 3 hours of TV on a Saturday morning, and now you're a dick.
How old is this daughter?
She's one's 9 and one's 7.
Oh, so they're around the same age as my oldest. Because I was wondering, maybe it's a developmental age stage where, because I don't want to jump the gun here, but one of my topics was about the emotional rages that kind of come and go. I mean, he's only 7, but he has a really hard time controlling his outbursts, mainly just of like anger if something doesn't go his way, or he doesn't like something, or his brother doesn't play his particular. He's very bossy when it comes to game time. But the moment it doesn't go that his way, he just starts lashing out. And I do the, let me talk to you like, you're an adult human, not yell at you. Sometimes that works and other days it doesn't. And then a lot of times, maybe it's because I'm female and they're male. I don't know. I have 2 boys. I have to speak to them in a very loud voice in order to get their attention, because I can't be like, hey guys, can you just please do this?
Melissa is going through that too, because they won't, when she tries to discipline, it doesn't go well for her. I almost always have to get involved for it to go the way she needs it to go. And we're trying to figure out how to maneuver that, because obviously, I may not be here all the time. And if something happens and I'm not here, I don't know where I go with that.
I end up sounding like I'm in a heavy metal band, because like my voice drops a couple octaves just to get my point across that, no, you need to do this. And I hate to resort to, threatening, well, if you're not going to do this, then, this is going away. Like, if you guys don't pick up your toys, I'm like, coming with a trash bag behind me, I'm just going to throw them away. And I hate to do that. I mean, it's not to say that it's not going to happen, like.
You're breaking the law.
Katie, I mean, your 2 oldest are in that ballpark. What's going on with you guys?
With us, same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yep. Same exact thing. Yeah.
So how do you deal with it?
Oh, I do the same thing as you do.
Metal voice and like the stomping. Like,
it's so funny. We went and got family pictures done this weekend, and we always do a funny picture, and my daughter was being wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing.
Dolphin
and
noise.
I looked at her with these like mom eyes. And the photographer got a picture of it, and it's funny. Like, I laughed at first, like really hard, and then I was like, oh my God. My husband goes, that's exactly the look you give her all the time. And I was like,
are you the disciplinarian in your house?
No, not really. I mean, I try to be, because I'm like, when Rob's not here, like, I'm trying to be the,
But who is, out of everybody, who's the disciplinarian?
Oh, my husband, for sure.
With my oldest. My youngest, it's hit or miss. But when his dad is home, because he loves his dad, and he's 4, but he's like a boy's boy. And I say this with all sincerity, like when he walks, he kind of walks stocky, So he does listen to me when I get angry enough, once I'm up here. But when his dad is here, it's an instant, okay, shoot, I got to do what he says. But my oldest, he's more scared of me, I think, than he is of his dad. And I prefer to keep that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Dave the disciplinarian in your house, Winnie? Or is he more the instigator?
I know he likes to start stuff. I'm not gonna lie, Dave's kind of shady like that. No, I'm just kidding.
He needs to be disciplined himself.
Well, right now, the majority of the kids in the house are teenagers. So it's like we try and keep them on a respectful level, like talk to them as if they want to think they're mature, they want to be an adult. Well, I'll treat them like an adult, but there's got to be accountability for your actions. That's what we have to do as adults. But like, I raised 3 boys, and I'm tiny. I'm only 5'3". My 16-year-old son is almost 6. He's like 6'1" now. So, but like he knows if I give him a look, he knows he's in trouble, and he still abides by it. And I just instilled the fear of God in my kids. Or like with my youngest, I guilt him. And I know I hate saying that, but I'll like make him feel bad for hurting my feelings. And then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mom. And he'll hug and come up to me and hug me. I love you, Mom. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
But it's not untrue. It's not like you lied to him and pretended like he hurt your feelings. Like, he actually hurt your feelings, right?
Yeah.
I have
well,
done
then
that with
he needs
Jace
to
when
know
he's
that.
hurt.
Yeah.
When Jace has hurt Melissa's feelings, I have done that a lot of times. When I'm like, dude, your mom is like the nicest person on the entire planet. How could you make her feel this way? I'm like, is that
Yeah.
what Spider-Man would have done? And that always works because he doesn't want to disappoint Spider-Man or his mother.
Aw.
I know, and that's why I tell them, I go, I'm not, I said, I'm really disappointed in your behavior. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, Bob, and I won't do it again. And I'm like, okay, until next time. But yeah. But yeah,
I can remember growing up, I had a teacher told me that they were disappointed in me. And that's still to this day, like,
yeah, it sticks.
Yeah,
It
it's
does. It
pain.
really hits you in the feels. It does. And it's just like, and I know that I've seen like with Max. Max is my more dramatic child, I guess you can say. Completely different, like all three of my boys have completely different personalities. And but Max has been my most trying kid. He's the one that's more emotional and things like that and whatnot. But I just he's getting to the age now, he's becoming a preteen. So he's getting that preteen attitude. But I still lay it on thick when he does something that I am not happy with, and it makes him turn into a puddle, and he's just like, "I love you, Mom. I did mean to," and things like that. But it is hard even to discipline your kids these days because you feel like your hands are tied no matter what you do or say. They know it doesn't mean anything.
I still speak to my kids like they're adults. Like my 7-year-old, I coach her soccer team, so I was coaching her game on Saturday, and it was a tough game. Her team's not great, and she is arguably one of the better players on the team. She's pretty good. And
is it Hannah's team?
No, it's Claire's team. Claire 7, who's killer. Claire typically crushes it, but she passes and she can control the ball, but the rest of her team's not great. And last year, she was on a team with two girls who were going to play on the national team one day, and they won games like 15-0. She'd never lost. So her first season in soccer, she was like, I'm undefeated. I go, you're not. You're a +1. You're Turtle in Entourage. Enjoy the ride. You got to ride. Enjoy it. You're living in a house for free. Don't worry about it. But this year, she's the best player on the team, really, but she gets so frustrated. And so the game was tied 3-3. She had played great. She had like 3 assists. She hadn't scored yet, which was rare. She normally is the goal scorer, but she had 3 assists and was tied 3-3. And the other girls were like hanging on her, and she got scratched or something. And there was a big call or something, and she stopped and she's like, she was like, I'm injured. I go, you're not injured. You're going to be fine. She goes, no, I'm totally injured. That girl hurt my leg or whatever. And I said, do you want to come out? She goes, I do. And I go, all right, you're out. And I pulled her with like 3 minutes left in the game. And she was like, what? And I said, you want to quit? And she goes, yeah, I'm out. I pulled her out, and she was sobbing on the sideline. And as soon as I pulled her out, the other team went down, scored the winning goal, and we lost. And we had a big argument about it. And I said, you quit on your team. And the other parents were around.
I love you, Jamie. Oh,
yeah.
And I said, you quit. I said, you weren't injured. You're totally fine. You got frustrated because it was a really close, tight game. And then on the drive home, she goes, I don't feel like you love me anymore or want me. That's what she said.
I'm not sure. How did you handle that, Claire?
I told her,
wow.
I said, listen, I love you more than anything on this earth. And
including your sister, Hannah.
Anything. And Hannah was in the car. I said, even more than Hannah. Yes, you are.
Hannah, shut up. I'm trying to make a point here.
I said, it doesn't change the fact. You quit because I asked you if you wanted to come out, and you came out, and you weren't injured because you were super frustrated and you wanted the emotion at the time. There was 3 minutes left in the game. You should have fought till the end, but she still doesn't have that. Like some kids in sports, I go, if that was me, I don't remember once in my life ever somebody going, hey, you want to come out? No, I'm never coming out of this game. But she was like, I'm out. And I go, well, then you're out. I pulled her immediately. And the other parents were like backing away. And I was like, I go, you quit. What do you want to hear? Here's a guy in his mid-50s talking to a 7-year-old on the sideline going, hey, you quit. What do you want from me?
You're like that old Will Ferrell on SNL sketch, screaming at the kids.
Also, how
I felt
sweet.
super bad about it, but
How
What'd
sweet.
you say?
Jamie thinks he's his mid 50s. You're your early 60s, basically.
Yeah, pretty close.
Jamie.
I'm 75 years old.
You're
I'm
your
75.
pre 60s is what you are. You are not mid 50s. My
Not even
friend.
close. I'm actually pretty much 60 at this point.
You're
So let's just
I'm just saying. Dude, I feel like you give
speak
those
to my
lessons.
kids so honestly. Like even the other day, Hannah was doing something. I said, "Hey, man, you're being a total dick. You need to pull it back or something." And she was like, "What?" And I go, "You know what I'm talking about." What the fuck?
You
I don't know what to do.
did a thing. You did this amazing thing, which is like the boys know, and because I also have 2 boys, Julia. That my boys know, Mama keeps her threats and her promises. So if I say I'm going to do something, I keep it.
You have to.
And that's I got to tell you, Jamie. One of my favorite stories about you as a dad is when somebody, I think it was Hannah, was like, I don't want to go to California Pizza Kitchen or whatever it was, and you're like, great, you're not going. And like,
Yeah,
you took
I
just
kept her
the
home.
one. Yeah.
Because she did that this weekend too. Oh my God. They made me hide a Hatchimal in the house. Do you know Hatchimals? The little
Yeah.
It's a collectible, which is another phrase for buy as many of these as you can. And so it was an egg. And so my wife was out of town for 4 days. And so I said, all right, I'm going to hide. They go, hide the egg somewhere in the house and we'll find it. And I go, great. I hid it in the one place where I knew they'd never find it, right under the kitchen table where I always ask them to clean up their mess. Like always just food. It was just sitting open under the kitchen table for 3 days. They couldn't find it. Could not find it. And finally, Claire, the younger one, finds it, which the older one, she had a meltdown because she didn't find it. They're so competitive. She was like, it was really bad. Like
the older one did.
The older one, the 9-year-old, lost her shit.
My 11-year-old does the same thing. If
she was so angry, it was so competitive. Are they the same with you, Katie?
Same, exact. She is terrible. She has to be the first at everything. Everything, like getting into the car at pickup line. She's in the first seat. So like everybody's crawling over her. Jack has to like crawl over the seat to get to the back. It is a circus. I mean, it's a circus anyway. But she cannot stand to be second or last or anywhere but first.
It wrecked the day. And so I ended up punishing her. I was like, look, I go, if you have to learn to be happy, you wanted the thing, she found it. I can't help you. You didn't find it. It's not my fault. And then she does the same. So we were doing speaking of the puzzle. So I tried to get the older one involved in the puzzle, and she came over for the puzzle for 1 second. And the younger one picked up one, and she goes, oh, I think this is here. And without missing a beat, the older one ripped it out of her hand and was like, oh, I got it. I got that piece. Like, did you just pull that out of your sister's hand? What the fuck is wrong with you? But I was like, are you kidding me? Like, she'll find a competition out of anything where you're like, first one to the table, first one in the car, first. Shh. Punch you in the mouth. You just want to hit her.
I know.
What are you doing? But that's what it's like all the time with them. Yeah.
I did a thing the first day I dropped the boys off for school last year. I made a video, like a joke video, because I went to Dunkin' Donuts and right after I dropped them off, and it was just a weird feeling. It had been like 2 years of being inside her house. I'm in the drive-through line, and I'm starting to say like, I wanna. Like I'm gonna need, I want my coffee, and I'm gonna need 2 donuts, and I need them to have the exact amount of sprinkles that the other one has. I need them to both be equally sprinkled, and it's just because that is exactly like food. We've got food aggression in this house. He got more sprinkles. He got the bigger donut. That's the bigger slice of pizza. Is that everywhere? Do your children?
Do you know where I see it the most is with the twins?
Really?
If it is not exact, and sometimes even when it is because we have to buy 2 exact copies of everything, or it is a fight to the death. And Logan is much stronger than Anthony, much stronger. He is a savage warrior, and especially where it's food, where if he looks and the piece looks slightly bigger than it, he'll just take it from Dark Lord. He doesn't care.
Or like the same number of goldfish.
Mine are like that, except a lot of times, and I'm a little thankful for this, is that the older one, the 7-year-old, will kind of just take one for the team because my youngest, who's 4, his name's Atticus, he's 4. He can't control anything. He doesn't quite understand, why he's feeling that way, I guess. But he's just mad. So Katie, to kind of like, we went to Dunkin' Donuts the other day. I was like, oh, okay, you guys got ready really quick this morning. I'll take you to Dunkin' Donuts before I take you to school. They got the exact same donut. I reached into the bag and I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. One had sprinkles. One did not.
Oh, God.
And I was like, the world's about to implode. And I held it up. I was like, there's only one with sprinkles. And of course they both wanted it. And then Atticus just started to cry, and Solomon was like, that's okay. I'll take the one without sprinkles. So thankfully, my Solomon, who's the older one, will do things like that. But that is not all the time. And they're not even they're not even the same age, but their things have to be the same. And if they're not, it's an issue. But I'm like, you are 4, he is 7. You can't do all of the things that he can. And I know that frustrates you, but this is the reality of your life and situation right now. You will get there, but it doesn't change. My youngest also goes into his bedroom crying and talks to himself for about 20 minutes and then slowly creepily makes his way back out. He just creeps along the wall. That's like
you got to King David that thing. You just got to cut it in half, whatever it is. That's what I used to do. I just break it in half and go, you get half, or I'll throw them both.
But then that becomes an issue. Like, no, you can't break it in half. So then I just threaten to throw the damn thing away. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw it away. I'm just gonna toss it.
Crepes for the girls.
I'm just gonna sit and eat it myself.
Yeah.
I got up and made
watch
crepes.
this.
Watch this.
And,
I'll eat both of them. Thank you.
With the crepes take I'm going to say 90 seconds between crepes. Like I could make a crepe and then 90 seconds later, I'll have a second crepe. You would have to wait 90 seconds. They were literally fist fighting over who was going to get the first crepe at 6:10 in the morning. And I go, guys, you got to stop it. The other crepe's going to be out in 2 seconds. Just whoever gets the first crepe, here's the first crepe. They're fighting over it. I get so angry. I take the crepe out of the pan with my hand and I whipped it against the wall. And I was like, crepes are over. Nobody's having crepes today. There are no crepes happening. And that was the end of crepes for the day. And then they were like, what? And they sobbed for about 15 minutes. And then they each had a bowl of cereal. And that was the end of the crepe department. So
you're crepe out of luck, kid.
Are you on a crepe ban currently, or are they back?
Well, I would go back to crepes, but it's literally the crepe is secondary to the Nutella. It's like a ladle full of Nutella per crepe. So I'm having issues with the amount of sugar they're ingesting. So I'm back to pancakes, and I made eggs. So I made hard-boiled eggs this morning. I have one of those hard-boiled eggs. Oh my God. Do you know the ones where you poke the hole in it and you put it in, put the water in? It's a hard-boiled egg maker.
Yeah.
You turn it on, it makes it like 18 minutes later. There's hard-boiled eggs. You can make 12 of them. Nobody?
What?
No.
I just use a pot with some water.
I know. I was
I
like,
need a link to that.
That's some fancy stuff you got there.
You poke a hole in it, and that way, because you poke the hole in it and it steams it, when you peel it, the shell never sticks to the egg. It's really great. Really great.
You're so fancy, Jamie.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. What can I tell you?
you guys, that's from that Friends residuals.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Sur La Table. No, it's like a $14 hard-boiled egg maker.
Oh, so it's Will and Grace money.
Yeah.
Maybe King of Queens money. Who knows? Maybe it was Parenthood. Where did the money come from?
Because it could have been Loud House residuals. Who's to say?
Actually, they pay the best, by the way. Loud House residuals.
Loud House did? Just the
it's actually one of the higher ones. It's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
For those of you who have an older kids and then there's a gap between them and younger, do you ever have issues where the older will try to revert in order to get the attention? Like back to the same kind of like he's trying to ride. Jace will sometimes try to ride in the cart again, like at the grocery store.
Oh.
Or he's like, I could wear diapers too. I'm like, dude, you're 6. We're not doing that. You've already been through all that. And and I know it's an attention thing, but has anybody else been through that?
Well, I have the same. My boys are the same age as Julia's, and I would say that is not considered a gap necessarily. Like James is about to be 5, but what I would say is that the younger acts way older than he is. There's like no question that he is not the first child in the family. Like he is I don't know. It just there's just no question to me. But Neil does not try to revert down. But I don't know. How about you guys?
No.
No.
Solomon, if anything, kind of distance, like there was like a distance after we had Atticus. He just like, because he had almost 3.5 years by himself. So he learned how to, be by himself, play by himself. And then that just continued. And that self kind of playing, just being able to be alone, which is a great thing to have, just continued. Atticus, though, wanted to grow faster. And still does. Like he was walking before he was a year old. He was potty trained before he was 2, which was great because who wants to buy diapers, for an extra couple years? Like, so.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say that. Like between my first 2 boys, there's like a 2.5-year gap. My middle one, Charlie, he was really mature for his age. Like he potty trained early. He was potty trained at 18 months. He was reading at an early age and doing everything. And he had to keep up with his older brother. And there's still like, I never had issues with them fighting, or they've always gotten along. They were like best buds. And then Max came along, who is 5 years younger than Charlie, my middle one. And that's where they start butting heads, because you have a 10-year-old who wants to hang out with his 15, 16-year-old brother. He wants to do 15 and 16-year-old things, whereas a 10-year-old, he wants to just watch YouTube or play video games. So, there is that weird kind of gap, and it's hard for the youngest one to keep up. So Dave and I are kind of my youngest best buds. We're kind of like his people. So, which is
I
cool.
suspect where our issue is coming from is Jace. So for those of you who do or do not know, Melissa had a stroke 6 days after the twins were born.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, Jace did tell our pediatrician that he blamed the twins for making mommy sick. We were gone for several weeks, and obviously life was way different. We came home. He had 2 brothers, not just one. And I do sort of think that that's part of it. I just don't know. I've never heard of it going that way where they were. I mean, it's a lot. And there's some of them are big stretches, like from 6 to say, hey, I could wear diapers too. And I was like, dude, that's.
Jason, it's also possible. Does anybody else hear of multiples? Because I would guess that that's an issue with multiples, that the multiples always draw more attention. So I would not be surprised if older siblings of multiples,
they're exhausting. Yes, multiples, definitely.
I was going to say, like, if they're not like, oh, okay, I guess what I need to get dad's attention is to shit myself.
Katie saw me at drop off this morning for the twins. How did I look?
Your kids are cute. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I agree.
Here we go. All right.
They very nicely got out of the car, held your hand, walked around the car.
That was Logan. That's why.
It's all for public show. That's what it is.
And then as I'm walking,
thank you, Julie. Thank you.
That's what my kids do.
Go, oh, we're working on that at home. I didn't hear the question, but I was like, that's
potty training.
That's bullshit.
No. No, we legitimately I hate you.
Do you want to know how I potty trained my oldest? Because it's kind of funny, slightly embarrassing, but very funny.
Yeah, obviously.
He would not potty train. Don't know why. Absolutely mortified of going anywhere near a toilet. I don't know why. He was 4 and he was getting ready to go to kindergarten. So it's like, crunch time. We got to figure this out. So
those are scary times, by the way.
Yeah, you're like, what do I do?
All of a sudden, you're like 3 weeks from kindergarten. You're like, I'm sorry, what? They have to be by when? I'm sorry, I don't have enough M&Ms. What's happening?
None of that worked. We went through everything in the playbook, and the one thing that worked was we talked to him like, you can't wear these pull-ups anymore. You're gonna have to learn how to use the toilet. So, it was summertime. We have a semi-private backyard, thankfully, and we just let him go naked. So you just go pee outside. That's fine. And he even started going number 2 outside.
Listen,
Which was great because him and the
Jamie, yeah,
dog
don't
kind
worry.
of bonded, I think. So this went on. Eventually, he learned how to pee in the potty, and that was great. But he wouldn't poop in it.
Mhm.
Okay, what do we do? Well, winter comes, and he's like, "No, I have to go outside." I kind of like the dog. I have to go outside. I'm like, "Okay, strip down and go right out." And he made it about 5 seconds because it's winter, it's Pennsylvania, it's basically the Arctic. And he's like, "Nope, I can't do it." And then he just went to the bathroom on his own, and that's how it happened. So it was a lot of outside pooping for the longest time.
My son did the same exact thing, but he did it on his own. All
Maybe
the time,
that's the
look out
trick.
the
Maybe
window.
I need to take the twins outside and just let it be a nature.
It's
kind
He
of
would
thing.
just drop his pants, and I'd be looking out the kitchen window, and there he is standing in the middle of the yard. He looks like one of those naked fountain kids. And I'm like, and then one time he
Cherubs.
pooped in the backyard behind the garage. He's like, "Well, Lucy does it. That's our dog." I said,
Mhm.
"Dude, that's because she can't sit down on a toilet. Use the toilet, please." But my oldest boy, like, he would not go to the bathroom at all, like number 2 in the toilet. And I finally convinced him. I'm like, "Look," I was like, "there's turtles and alligators down there. You're making them starve, honey. They really need to eat. You need to go to the bathroom in the toilet."
A
And
poop gator.
I'm like, "They're gonna die, honey." And he's like, "Oh no!" It started pooping in the toilet. I just made him feel
The weirdest
guilt.
jump of
I
all
made him
time.
feel guilty.
Yeah.
So it
That's-
worked.
Can we go back for
whatever.
1 second to Julia's backyard, which, by the way, she referred to as semi-private?
Yeah, yeah.
So obviously, there's one old dude who lives behind them with like a cup of coffee every morning who's like, "Oh my god, this kid's crapping in the yard."
It's the guy from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah.
What's happening over there,
Wilson.
guys?
Hello,
Yeah.
neighbor.
Well,
So you're
so
shitting the yard again.
it's it's like a big open area, but our neighbors, like, it's not even a tree line. It's kind of like a tree line, but we can see them and they can see us. And he didn't do it just in the backyard. That's where it started. Cars drive by. Sometimes you can see around back, depending if you're coming down the hill or not. So that's what I mean by semi-private. Anybody could see that. Yeah. So
And Winnie's
So do
kids are
they-
going to school, and the teachers are like, "Well, let's talk about alligators and turtles." And then Winnie's kid's going to be like, "Oh, did you know they eat poop?" I'm sorry,
Oh,
wait, what
speak-
happened?
Yeah,
What are you talking
yesterday
about?
my son's
No, I
school
used to
got
feed them. I fed them my poop a long time ago, and
uh,
I kept them alive.
yeah. Yesterday we get a call from the school. The main sewer line backed up into the school. So the whole basement was flooded with sewage, and they had to send all the kids home because it wasn't sanitary or safe.
Oh,
And I'm just like, oh my God.
I would hate to have to clean that up.
Oh, I got
that's-
Couldn't pay me enough.
pictures.
We
Yeah.
we got the email for the daycare came. We have our first parent teacher conference about the twins on Thursday.
Yeah.
And one of the items of discussion that is noted is very clearly the flooding incident. It's noted in the thing. And I want to email and ask if I can just videotape that section. I'm like, can I just record it just for prosperity's sake?
It's just for parenting purposes. It's
how
for
did they bullet
educational
point
use.
that? What did they? What did they
It's in
refer
bold.
to?
So
That?
it's funny because I'll have to screen cap it and show you. But it's language, cognitive skills, like the motion stuff, the toilet incident, and then and right on. So it's like all in the line of everything we have to cover.
Oh,
Oh gosh.
Do you guys still have a problem getting your kids to not pee outside?
I'm cool with my kids peeing outside, honestly. Well, mainly because they're boys. So
I have girls, and no, that's not a problem I deal with on a daily basis.
my kid though will pee on the porch. Like, you can't pee where people walk. Like, the other day he went to let the dogs out, and I'm standing at the top of the stair, and I can hear this and I'm like, are you peeing on the porch?
Mm-hmm.
No, but I can clearly hear the stream hitting the wood of the step.
Yeah.
My boys were peeing, like, if they go straight out my front door, it's like the part of the grass before the road. And that's where they were going. And I was like, guys, you can't pee. If you're going to pee outside, that's fine. Whatever. Go out back. But you can't pee towards the road. So don't you know, they were peeing in my mulch right outside my door. So they would stand like on my stoop and pee in the mulch. And I
Did it absorb the smell?
It was disgusting.
Oh,
God. I was like, why is it so nasty outside of our house? But it turns out when boys pee in mulch and then the sun bakes it.
Oh no.
Yep. I know we have that issue.
Hey, you've got a lot of
dogs.
smell stuff going on at your house between the mace and the pee.
Oh yeah.
the mace. Oh my God, I forgot the mace.
We were just talking about that the other day. He brought me the little mace container, and he's like, "I thought you said you were going to put this away, so I couldn't get it." And I was like, "Yes, sir. I apologize."
Because I will have an uncontrollable urge to spray it.
Well, he did probably a month ago or so. He sprayed it, and he's like, "Mom, what is this stuff?"
What did he think it was?
He didn't know. It was just like this cute little like teal colored keychain.
This
And
looks
he had it
safe.
on his hands, and
It looked like a random fashion accessory.
Yeah, he like washed it off, and then it was like in the air, and then he came in. He's like, "What is that?" and wipes it.
Oh
in.
no! Oh,
That poor kid. I was waterboarding him underneath the sink.
trying to
He
flush
is
it
so
out.
like scarred. He was like holding it like way out.
Well, that's a good lesson.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
For everybody involved. And it's oil based. If you ever need to know, it's oil based. So
Dawn, you have to like treat it
Dawn.
like a duck in an oil spill.
yes,
Yeah.
that is how you.
Put a little Dawn soap in your eyes.
Well, we kept you guys long enough. Thank you guys, everybody, for
You guys are
being
the
here
best.
tonight. That was super fun.
Super
Winnie,
fun.
where can everybody find you?
Well, I'm on social media.
I'm not.
Not willingly, but yeah, you can find me. Oh God, what is my Twitter? My Twitter is at Winnie Schrader _ Winnie Schrader. I can't
You
remember.
sound pretty
I don't know,
definite. That
just-
sounds like a
just
solid
follow-
plan, man.
Like
Just
an
follow
80%
Dave's
chance.
stuff.
Yeah.
Just follow Dave
Just Google
Paranormal 60
whoever.
stuff. Because yeah, I I'm always tagging him and stuff like that. So you'll find me. Or just look up Winifred Schrader. It's not like you have a bunch of Winifred Schraders walking around.
It's
in the
you
world.
and Winifred Sanderson. That's all that
Yeah.
exists out
That's
And
yeah,
Winnie Cooper.
exactly.
there. Oh yeah, and Winnie Cooper.
Winnie
That's true.
Cooper.
Yes.
Yes.
Cooper.
And the poo.
Yes.
And thanks for sharing, because honestly, it's amazing. Because I mean, until even tonight, I was like, "Wait, am I the only one where my kid's doing this?" And then everyone's like, "No, all of our kids are doing that, dude." And it's really, it's cathartic to hear that from everybody, because we're all going through the same crap of all. This
Yeah,
stuff
and
on a daily
what's
basis.
nice
And
about
so-
kids, I mean, what's hard about kids and nice about kids is that each kid is so different. You got to treat them differently than you do one. So like trying to navigate that as a parent is just, that's difficult alone, trying to figure out what works with this kid, what works with this one, what doesn't work. And, so it's always trial and error, no matter, until the day you die. Parenting is trial and error for sure.
My dad has an expression. God doesn't give you anything with the first that you can use with the second. But it's true. There's like
my dad had an expression. He used to say, "Just leave me alone."
that was the whole thing.
That was it. I know you can take what you want out of that. I think what he was saying is, here's a statement, and you use it however you need, but just leave me alone. And I now I get it. I didn't get it then, but now I get what he's talking about. I think Jason gets it. I think we all get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad had an expression was, "I ain't never liked you."
Oh,
Wow, that one got dark. That one got
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah.
that took a twist.
Yeah.
Katie,
My
where
dad
can
had
people
one,
find
he
you?
would go, my dad would say, "Just sit here at the train station and don't try to follow the car home." And I didn't know what he was talking about, but I sat there for hours, and it's just
It took you to a farm upstate New York.
Can't find me anywhere. I'm in pickup line
Hey,
Yeah,
I like
Katie.
that.
or the PTG meeting. Find me there.
Honestly, these are my favorite shows because Jason and I were talking about today. It was like sometimes we try to bring some people on and have interviews. I hate that part. I like a roundtable where we just talk about stuff. And honestly, it was really liberating to hear kind of the same stories that we're all going through to go, oh, okay. All right. I guess we're on track. You know what I mean? Like, all right. Because sometimes I'm like, I think I might need help. I think I might need intervention because I need someone to step in here and tell me that I want someone to come in and go, hey, man, you're doing this wrong. You really need some help. But honestly, talking to everybody else, it makes me feel much better about what.
Well, social media doesn't help.
You hear my kids screaming in the background? Can you hear?
No.
Yeah, I heard something. Are they yelling at each other? Are they about to? Is it about to go down?
Oh, it's about to go down.
She's like, no.
Hannah took another puzzle piece.
Ding, ding.
She will.
Round
like,
2.
Julie, what about you? Where can people find you?
Narcolepsy.
I mean, if you search for my name, all my like personal account is private, but I have a podcast with another mom, and it's called Mysteries, Murders, Monsters, and Your Mom.
Oh, I like it.
Thank
I
you.
like that a
Thank
lot.
you. So you can find us on any like I don't know, Spotify, the platform things that people put the podcasts on.
Yeah.
We're there.
Man, you guys are just as good at promoting your stuff as we are about promoting our stuff.
Oh
Really
my God.
fantastic. Great
I mean,
stuff.
usually I'm typing it out like by myself, like editing and re-editing. I'm not usually with a group of people where I have to say words in a cohesive way.
I get it.
Also, I also want to make a disclaimer. This is not vodka.
Sure
This
is.
is a glass bottle of water. Because
Wow.
I realized as I was
actually
drinking it.
that's actually fancier than vodka because all vodka
Right?
comes in a glass bottle, but not all water
And
does.
occasionally a crystal skull.
Yeah.
I have to make
Yeah.
a disclaimer. I actually think less of you now that you say it's water.
You
I
said
actually
it's water,
think
Well, I
yeah.
mean, you're drinking a Shirley Temple. I didn't judge you.
It's a Negroni, isn't it?
It is.
By the way,
With Prosecco.
By the way,
now it's
Narcolepsy 27.
Campari, sweet vermouth, and gin.
Oh, I hate gin. Mm-mm.
No, I did too. When I fell asleep in Cape Cod when I was 21 after Tanqueray and tonics, but I've recently rediscovered them, and they're good again.
Narcolepsy
I
27
just drink
says
whiskey.
the funniest thing. Oh, sorry.
I know narcolepsy is so
He
funny.
said, I certainly feel really great about my kids' bathroom skills. That was his takeaway from tonight.
I think the SEO for this thing, for the podcast, when we put it up on iTunes, the SEO's got to be potty training for parents.
No.
Super funny.
What to do, what not to do.
Honestly,
thank you guys
What's
so
on your
much.
sweater? 'Cause
Thank you
there-
guys for sharing
Oh,
your
yeah.
stories, man. It was
It's
really great. And
it's the
we'll put links.
Oh, I see.
Take one of your podcasts and maybe we'll do a little share.
Yeah, we can do a podcast swap. Sure, that'd be fun.
Or
Yeah.
we'll share it on the Parents Lounge because, listen, it's all about parenting at this point, and it's about trying to get through this thing. So thank you guys for coming and sharing your stories. Really cool.
Thank you for
Thank you.
inviting me.
Yeah,
This
thanks
was
for
fun.
having us on. This was fun.
You're welcome. We'll do this again soon. Bye, guys.
night.
Bye.
Wow.
Oof.
I like when I'm not outnumbered.
Me
I
too.
did that for you.
I
And
know.
also, we had no guest.
Yeah. By the way, I want you guys to guess. I talked to you guys about this on our trip, but I finally went to the dentist. I hadn't gone since the end of 2019. Then the pandemic happened. I finally got COVID in May of 2022, this past May. And so I was like, oh, once I get back from the summer, I better start going to the dentist again. I don't need to be scared of getting COVID anymore. How many teeth do you think I need worked on?
42.
That's you think 3, Jason?
I was going to go 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna
so just-
actually let me take a legit. I'm gonna say
Well, let
7.
me just explain the
I'm gonna say
situation.
7.
Okay.
Jamie, you're dead on.
Wait.
We've talked about this many times. I wish I didn't know everything. I really do. I really do. It's a weird. I talk to my kids, and my kids go, "You might." I go, "Listen, I might be wrong. I might be, but 99% of the time, I'm right."
Not. Yeah, I gotta tell you.
Is it
the
7?
pain- It's 7. The pain I'm in right now, from 3 of them getting work done, had 3 temporary crowns put in. The pain. I was like, this man was like, he actually called today to be like, how are you feeling today? I really brutalized your mouth. And I was
The
like,
dentist
well,
did?
the dentist did, because he knew
Wow.
It was so deep. It was like shy of a root. I've never had a root canal yet. Don't seem to need one. But here's the thing. They're like, what
Were you
happened with
unconscious?
you?
Did he put you out?
No. It was, and then I was at some point too.
So
I
you
was
could
like,
see it when he put his penis in your.
yes.
Yeah.
It was, and I'll
Now
tell you
who's
what.
Dark turning it?
Did it feel like a dream state? Because anytime they go sleep dentistry, you know that you see the billboards for sleep dentistry.
Oh,
I always go, that's mouth intrusion dentistry.
That's not.
It should be called mouth.
No.
It should be called, oh, you have an open mouth dentistry. It's what it should be called.
Dude, he was so aggressive in there, drilling. But I will say that they were like, what happened? And I was like, oh, I became an alcoholic in the pandemic. And then every night I would stay up drinking margaritas. And then I would wake up on the couch the next morning. And they're like, and I was like, do you want a fake answer next time? They're like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, no, I didn't brush my teeth like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I got wasted every night, fell asleep on a couch, woke up the next day, maybe brushed my teeth at that point, but like was not hitting them at nighttime because I was getting too wasted every night.
Sometimes I'd brush them at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I'd come to.
Yes,
like,
but
right.
sometimes I'm like, I got to ride the wave. I can't, if I wake up.
Me
so
too.
Anyway, I'll tell you what, not having that problem ever again. Because
my wife's having her wisdom teeth out on Thursday.
Ooh, I have all 4 of my wisdom teeth, but they're not taking them out.
She has all 4 of them as well. And she's like, she goes, I was going to get 4 out, but I'm just going to do 2. And I was like, that's the difference between you and I. Like, if you were going to dig a ditch, wouldn't you dig the whole ditch or would you dig half a ditch?
Yeah.
I would go like, what are you doing? Take them all out. She goes, no, I don't want to take them all out. I go, okay.
Narcolepsy makes a really good point. During that time, I did beat the shit out of Breath of the Wild. So you're welcome. Mommy's good at video games.
See, my wife is a dental Nazi. So like I am required, like she asks every night and she's like, did you brush? And like, so I have no, like, I'm one of the kids that she has to check.
If she
the first,
make her brush your teeth. Just go, you brush my teeth then.
Oh,
I should. The first time she slept over at my apartment before we got together, she brought a toothbrush. I don't know why she didn't think I would own one, but she brought one for me and herself. And she's like, yeah.
I think there's a reason she thinks you didn't own one. She's like, I bet this guy doesn't have one.
The first time my wife slept over with me, I was in a hotel in New York and my wife was going to stay with me. She goes, I don't have a toothbrush. And so I walked into a bodega and I bought her a toothbrush and she came up to the hotel with me.
That's nice.
Was
that your first date?
Early. It was early.
So funny. I had so many people tell me not to sleep with my husband on the first date. And I was like, I don't know who you think I am.
And you don't know how not to sleep with somebody on the first date.
I don't know any other way.
Honestly,
what do you do if not that?
It's impressive that you made it to the first date.
Honestly.
Without sleeping with them.
Okay, yeah, because the Nintendo Switch hadn't come out yet, so you probably have no idea what to do.
Yeah, I could not. I was not playing video games yet. Yeah.
If every date, it was so funny. You'd bring her back, and she'd be like, "I never do this. I never do this. Really?
Yeah.
I never sleep with somebody on the first."
I was like, I only do this, just so you know.
Honestly, Mulligan, that's a bit for you. That's a bit because most guys would go like, every girl always says, I can't believe I'm doing this. I never do this. But Mulligan's like, oh, I was planning on this. This was this is automatic.
Oh, and by the way, I'm leaving tonight. Like there's not a chance that I stick around and wake up next to you. Bye. It's been fun. I don't like
Pretty Woman. It's Pretty Woman. It's hey, the strawberries and whipped cream. It's a nice touch, but I got news for you. I'm a sure thing. This is gonna happen one way or the other.
That's why you were cast as prostitute 3, right?
Yes, porn
star.
You
already had
my favorite bit of yours. Porn star 3.
Porn star number 3.
And by the way, number 1 and 2 were actual porn stars.
We're actual porn stars. It's not my fault, you guys. Her name was Jenna Hayes. I forget the other one's name.
Wait, what are their names so I can Google them really quick?
Yeah, no, she had won that year for best solo performance in the whatever the
which I find to be the most artistic of all the awards.
Truly,
solo performance. I mean,
can I tell you? I finally watched. Did you guys watch My Policeman yet? It's the
the Harry Styles one. I want to see.
Can I tell you something? I didn't know I could be I knew I could be straight for Harry Styles, but I didn't know I could also be gay for him.
Yeah.
It is the hottest movie.
Wait,
It's-
what?
Yeah.
I
Harry
wish
Styles.
I was a man so
Mhm.
that Harry Styles would fuck me the way he fucked this man in this movie. It
Mhm.
is the hottest movie. I'm not kidding you.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's I think even straight dudes will think this is the hottest movie. I mean, I was like, what the actual? I mean, it's like it's so beautiful. And like there's just a moment where like Harry Styles just like it's because it's so forbidden. Like just had his hand on his shoulder and then went like this.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah. It's like that Dennis Quaid, Dennis Haysbert one with Julianne Moore, where they are in the Todd Fields thing in the 1950s, where you're like,
in the
hey, wait.
1950s, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a really good movie. Harry Styles
Anyway, I
is
think
great.
that's probably our closing
Yeah.
bit.
That's the closing bit. Everybody go get your rocks off to Harry Styles.
Hey, this was super fun tonight. I actually really love shows like this where it's just people roundtabling stuff. It makes me so happy. To everyone tell their stories and stuff. So to all the
We did a really good job of not talking over each other too, which I was
it was actually
astounded.
It was really great. And honestly, all the fans who come in and comment along, the running jokes make me laugh so
Yes,
hard.
they're
Narcolepsy,
funny.
you are hilarious. Jobo, the whole gang. I mean, the messages are so funny on here. So thank you for coming on and sharing our show and being part of it. It's really, it makes it a communal. Because we talked recently, like, why are we doing this live? We could just do this. But this is why we do
This
it
is why.
live. Because
That's what I
we
told
love
you.
it.
I said, yeah, that's why we do it.
It really is. So
We got paid to compliment the editor
that's
the editor that's working on the show said, you three have such hilarious chemistry together. I would love to see more of what you guys do together. So
I know it's super fun. We lose a little bit in the audio production value, I think, when we put it up on iTunes, but I'm willing to give that away because it makes me laugh so hard to watch everybody comment along. It's such a live, vibrant conversation that it makes it really worthwhile every Tuesday night. So to everyone out there, thank you for being part of this, the Parents Lounge. Please like, subscribe, follow. Be sure to share if there's another parent you know who's kind of going through some tough times. Like honestly, this week I was like, my God, am I doing this wrong? But talking to other parents, like, no, dude, we're all going through the exact same thing. And I think that's kind of the impetus behind the whole show of the Parents Lounge, is to go, hey man, you're okay. You're doing the best you can, and that's all. At the end of the day, that's all you can do. So I don't know. Anybody got any last words? Let's wrap this thing up, shall we?
no, that's it.
This is my last word.
I know. All right. I love you guys all. Thank you so much for being part of this. Be sure to tell other people about the Parents Lounge, and we'll see you guys here next Tuesday. That's it. Have a great
Good
week.
night, everybody.